Welcome back. You're now watching the political segment of the weekend show. We'll be discussing Ondo elections with the PDP gubernatorial candidate Eyitayo Jegede, a former Attorney General in Ondo State, is the candidate of the party for the October 10th gubernatorial elections. He is running for the office for the second time, having been runner-up to Rotimi Akeredolu of the All Progressives Congress in the 2016 elections. Mr. Jegede still has Mr. Akeredolu and his deputy governor, Agbola Ajayi, to contend with in the coming polls. Mr. Ajayi is the candidate of the Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. Eyitayo Jegede, who's with us today, joins us from Akure, Ondo State. Mr. I almost said Mr. Governor. Eyitayo Jegede, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for that prophetic word.
All right, Andy.
Welcome to the weekend show, sir. I'll go straight to it. Seeing the results of the primaries, which led to you being the flag bearer for the People's Democratic Party, how prepared do you think your party is after the results going to this election, which is in about 2 months' time or less?
Thank you very much. I think the message from the outcome of the primary is that we are all united, we are all focused on the bigger battle ahead. The primary indeed is a family matter. It has come and it has gone, and I thank all my co-aspirants and those who are genuine, and mark my words, genuine members of the PDP for their cooperation and their readiness to work for this project. Let me go back to your question. That's about how prepared are we. We're very prepared. You did mention that I was a candidate in 2015. That is correct. And it didn't go well. That is also correct. We were faced with litigation up to 3 days to the election. That is correct. Despite that, we came back and we were pronounced. Mark my word, again, pronounced as having come second. Even though the secretary of the state government had said that we actually won that election and that we said so openly. Now, we're prepared because we have also learned our lesson. We're focused. We've transferred the length and breadth of Ondo State. We have a message for the people. The message is that governance can be better. We can be more transparent. We can be more focused. Our people do not be seated to stay in the names of IGR. We believe that the current astronomical cost of education, which was the first thing the APC government did, to increase the tuition fee in our universities from about 35 to about 250, 350,000 is unrealistic. It's a betrayal of trust. That high cost must come down to something that is reasonable and bearable. We want our people to go to school. We don't want a situation where you have people who are anxious, our students who are anxious to go to school, taken out of school, not because they fail exams, but because they cannot afford to pay. That's not the history that we're known for. That's not the value of education.
But how do you plan to tackle that? Specifically, speaking to results, this has been an issue in the state for the last 4 years, and students have complained about this. How do you intend to tackle that problem with education?
You mean the problem of higher education cost?
Yes.
Yes, I think, look, past governments have done this before. Historically, the Western region was noted for free education. When PN came, it was noted for free education. During the time of the Labour Party under Dr. Mimiko, it was noted also for expanding and democratizing education. That was why the payment was fixed at an amount, despite all the pressures to increase. And I was part of that cabinet. The truth of it is that it's just priority. All you need to do is say, look, what do we want to treat for? Education should be one, health should be one, infrastructure should follow, and the rest of them. Now, all we need to do is appropriate the money. The 5.4 billion that was used to construct the bridge, the small bridge along Ore, we can build a better bridge, a wider bridge, a more qualitative bridge at less than half the cost, and we can give our institutions, out of the 5 billion, 1 billion to Akumba, 1 billion to Ondo, 1 billion to Kitikupa, and then another amount to Owo, the town, the hometown of the governor himself, and yet construct a bigger and better bridge where there's this one now. So there's no big deal about it. All we have to do is to say, look, let's see how many students can come in. will increase the student intake across the board, then increase the infrastructure, and then also take care of the lecturers and maintain discipline. And then you have more number of students coming to school. That I think is the way to go.
Mr. Jegede, let me interject here. As I said in the introduction, you ran in 2016 and you lost to the incumbent governor. I think I heard you briefly allege that you actually won those elections, but you were not.
No, it was the SSG to Akeredolu's government that said so a few weeks ago when he resigned.
Okay.
He resigned his appointment. He resigned his appointment at SSG and said he cannot go along with Mr. Akeredolu again, my brother, the governor now, His Excellency, and said that they are the ones who work for him and that they knew he won the election at that time. And he mentioned my name specifically.
So
he said they knew what they did.
Okay.
So I didn't say so. I'm just copying. I'm just re-echoing what was said by.
Okay. So how do you reckon things will be done differently in this election 2020?
In 2016, we were practically locked down, according to those who did it, for a long period. We were not able to move on a campaign. We were not able to submit names of our agents in the polling units across the length and breadth of Ondo State. I believe that we have learned our lessons. We have overcome that. We are already moving around. We are campaigning. That is number one. Two, we will also be able to monitor what is happening. And don't forget that there has been so very threat of violence by the former chairman of the ATC, who said that they were going to tear posters, they were going to use AK-47. That appears to me to be an echo from somebody who is drowning or a party that is drowning. We will have to start quoting governors, other governors of APC states who they believe had the capacity for violence, that they are bringing them to Ondo State. That's the summary of what they've been talking about. We are focused on what we will do for people of Ondo State. We are trying to cultivate the people and get them to believe in our ideas and the vision that we hold. We're telling them we're doing this selflessly, not because we're looking for jobs, but because we think that they're service and want to demonstrate some transparency with our government. And we pray that God will see us through.
So, sir, healthcare has always been a problem in Nigeria, even before the COVID-19 pandemic. We have seen over time, and just this year, several politicians flouting the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 guidelines. And so you will be campaigning, you will be going the length and breadth. What are you and your team doing to ensure that these guidelines are respected, which will now ensure that human lives are preserved, and as opposed to putting people's lives at risk because of campaigning and voting?
Let me say this. The campaign is also an opportunity to educate our people about the pandemic. It gives us the chance and the singular privilege to advise our people about the regulations and protocols put in place by governments to save lives. This has to do with health. There must be preservation. Of course, there are things that you must do: wash your hands, cover your face, maintain social distance, and the rest of it. Even in the heat of the campaign, as much as possible, you try and ensure that you comply with those protocols. And again, it's just to preserve the lives of our people. Even those who are campaigning also don't want to die. I don't think anybody wants to go to a suicide mission. But then, of course, you take all the precautions and educate our people. Because it's listening to those who are campaigning, they want to hear what you want to say. So the starting point is also the health that you have mentioned. And part of the protocol is preventive. These are preventive healthcare mechanisms. And we need it. And then, of course, it's going to do a lot of social media, electronic, and the rest. Same thing that we're doing now by ventilating a lot of our ideas on the social media and electronic status.
Eyitayo Jegede, gubernatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the upcoming Edo Guber elections. Thank you so much for joining us in today's program.
You're welcome, and thank you for this privilege that you're giving to me.
You're most welcome. So we'll go straight to the electoral reform segment of the weekend show with Eyitayo Jegede.